Namaste, Lamala.
Namaste.
I thought it would be nice if you could talk about the importance and benefit of the Ngondro practice and also why you are doing it now so that it would be helpful for people who are considering to attend our weekend retreat on October 29th and 30th.
Sure. So thank you for asking that. I think it is important to tell people the reason why we're doing it, so they understand the benefits, and also why now. So first of all, as to the why now, there are many reasons, but one of the first is that people don't always know that they should be requesting teachings. Sometimes they think, well, the Lama will say. But actually, it's actually time in our Sangha where the people should start to come forward and make their request. Now, it's easy to request something. Or we can go into a supermarket and request anything we want, but there has to be a payment. And in this case, the payment is that you have to take responsibility for what you want. So it is about stepping forward, making the circumstances arise, and planning, and everybody being involved in that in order for it to work. So that's the payment, is to set it up, right? So some people don't know how to do that, or don't know if they want to do that, or are confused. But Bertrand, one person, has stepped forward because he really wanted to hear these teachings. And as a result, all the other people who've been asking me about receiving these teachings have built up and have come forward and want to join that.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm responding to that request, that sincere request for the Ngondro teachings. So that's one reason. The second thing is that actually people think that the Ngondro, because it's called Ngondro, like before going, or preliminary practices, some people have this idea that this is a practice that one does in order to graduate that, get it out of the way, and go into the real thing. And this is a very incorrect view of the Ngondro. The Ngondro is both, it is that, but it is also the base foundation of everything you do in the Vajrayana Buddhism. And it sets the stage energetically, viscerally inside you for being able to do any of the other practices. And it itself encompasses all the practices. So if one were to choose any single one practice, one would choose the Ngondro if you had to dispense with all others. Similarly, people kind of, they complain sometimes because they don't speak Tibetan, or they feel that these practices are kind of hard to get into because of the way the liturgies are, and they feel intimidated. So, again, the Ngondro being so condensed, having all the blessings of the path from A to Z in a very orderly way, is another reason why the Ngondro is a real shining star of a practice. His Holiness Dudjom Rinpoche, both these are one line of teachings, one stream of blessing, lineage blessing. And he could foresee these times where people are too busy to practice, but they're damned if they do, damned if they don't. In other words, they know that they're too busy to practice, but then if they say, well, I'm just too busy to practice, then they hit a brick wall in other ways, and they realize, no, I need some kind of practice. So these practices were designed in such a way that they are very elegant and easy to put in any kind of time frame, whether it be even a 15-minute time frame or a 1 hour time frame. The same thing can be stretched or squeezed. And so they're very, very perfect for that. The third thing is that we've been now operating our center for several years now, and I've been giving people the teachings on different topics. But again, new people come, and we really should start properly at the beginning because the beginning, the middle, and the end is actually all the same, but we should really lay out everything in a way that people can come together and practice together. Because the real point of having a center, of doing the seva, the work that we call like a karma yoga, or something where everybody pitches in together at either Big Indian or other places, is that we want to set a stage for training, right? So we have to train ourselves, our minds. That's the point. And then what are we going to train? How do we train? So that's the practice of Ngondro. Practice alone and practice together. Both are very important. And then finally, we have to transmit. We have to transform ourselves. In other words, you have to do enough practice together, enough attention to the practice, and working on that, and hearing teachings enough, sufficiently, to complete a transformation. And not just a transformation that lasts for a day, but to really understand how to go to a situation, receive the blessings of that intentionality that we form a mandala and do the practice. And then have that really permeate one's mind through one's daily practice, so that you understand, actually, I'm really the one deciding what kind of phenomena I'm having. So you have to come to that point and then really transform your own continuum.
Mm-hmm.
Only then can we talk about people transmitting. So train, transform, and transmit are the messages of the day. And the transmission can only occur when you've really actually have a kind of sense of stability in your own practice, or that you've understood where you're going. At the very least, you have to know how to go through the practices and how to do them and what is going on. So I'm trying to set up this structure for people. For anyone who wants to get a contact with us, what we're doing, this is the time to plug into these teachings. It's very important for me also, because I can't just go back and back and back all the time. I will be repeating the meaning of these things. But this is the chance for people to really get on board and understand where we're going to be going. And so I would consider it that if people really want to study with me, if people are really sincere about hearing what it is that I have to share, that has been shared with me, by other great masters, that they themselves understand that the only way I can do that is if they start at this from this Ngondro practice. And the Ngondro practice is not also just like some kind of lower parts of the teaching or something. In the Dudjom Tersar, the Ngondro is infused with the Dzogchen view, meditation and action. And so it is the great perfection teachings, the Mahasandhi. It is based on that. And although they are relative practices or symbolic practices that transform us, they are by no means something trivial, or, people do ritual because they don't really understand, or something like that kind of comment. That's not true. This is, that would be like saying, you wouldn't brush your teeth if you really understood what was going on. No, if you understood what was going on, you would still brush your teeth. Yeah? Because if you don't have teeth, you can't eat. And if you can't eat, you can't understand what's going on. Mm-hmm. So these are very important fundamental practices. I hope that the people in the Sangha come in at this stage. Don't think, I already received those teachings. I already know what Ngondro is. I don't think that will help. But to really think, I want to start to receive these teachings again, and start to make a stronghold, a fortress in my own heart of Dharma. And because these days, as you know, are very challenging. And what I've found is that the Ngondro and any kind of practice we do is the saving grace, in the sense that no matter what's going on in your life, if you really want to know what you have to do to increase the good fortune, to increase positive circumstances, is not to chase shadows, but is to really make the adjustment every day inside yourself in the morning, and then make a move once you've set things in order, and then the things will reflect to you back in a proper way, in the way that you can gain benefits. So I think people really have to understand this as a source of all the good things that can occur for oneself and others around you. So for that reason, I invite people to come and join this teaching and give it a real focus. If the best is if you can come in person, because in person there's the whole radiance of energy in the physical way in the room and everything, and there are a lot of subtle energies that don't transmit online. However, I've also decided to let it happen online. So if you really, really can't make it and you're far away, or it's just impossible,
Someone from out of state.
if you're out of state or far away, or really just can't make it for whatever reason, then only you please you can go online, and we will give you the way to do that if you contact us. So we look forward to this weekend on the 29th and 30th, is it?
Mm-hmm.
And Bertrand will also be someone you can contact in order to understand some of the details, the logistics. Okay?
Thank you. Thank
So
you.
until then, I hope to see you all there joining us. Yeah.